This is a mock draft by Casey Kinnamon from the Orange and Brown Report, and he did a full one for the Browns. So he has the Browns going Cam Ward at 2, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan at 33, 67, tight end, Mason Taylor, Jalen Royals, wide receiver at 94, Demetrius Knight, linebacker from South Carolina at 103. We'll get to the back half of this first, but let's welcome in Casey Kinnamon from the Orange and Brown Report, All Eyes on Cleveland podcast, and the Barking Browns podcast. Casey, I would imagine if Cam Ward is there, they run that. It won't take the full time to, unless they're listening to trade offers. Cam Ward, I think, is becoming the guy that they would like.
Yeah, you can definitely feel the momentum going in that direction. Just the rumors coming out of the combine versus Cam Ward being a distant one from Shedeur, and Shedeur being closer to 3 than he is 1. It feels like everything's angling in that direction. But with that being said, they don't have the first pick in the draft. So if other people feel that same way, Tennessee's phone's going to be ringing. So it's going to be interesting.
What do you like about Grant, the D tackle from Michigan that you had at 33?
Brute squad. I mean, just a wall up front, can't run on him. And if you look at, in my opinion, he's a borderline top 10 player in this draft. So if he slides out of the first round, that's an easy call. But the Browns defense need to solidify the middle. And that's from the tackles to the backers, and you've already got your gap shooter, your 3 tech, and Michael Hall. So to go get a space eater, someone that's going to clog up gaps, collapse pockets, make life difficult on opposing quarterbacks and running backs, think you owe to yourself to do that. And Grant would be a home run at 33.
You got Taylor and Royal, so tight end and then a wide receiver. What do you like about those two?
You need weapons, and I've been mocking tight ends. There's a great tight end class. If you look outside the top 2, the people that have consensus first-round picks, and Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland, I think Mason Taylor's the next best sure thing. 6'4", 250. Obviously, he's the son of a Hall of Famer, but just knock that aside, and you look at his skill set. He's got a tremendous catch radius, phenomenal hands catcher. He understands spatial awareness, gets soft spots and zones. He's going to be a quarterback's best friend, like a security blanket. And he has an untapped potential in yak. He really wasn't asked to do a ton of this at LSU, but he is someone who could attack the seams and be a real threat once you get in the red zone.
All right, so the second half of this draft, you got an offensive lineman. You made a trade. You had the Browns sending 165, 202, 217 to the Vikings for 140. Then getting a smaller schooled offensive lineman, Grant from William and Mary. You got an edge rusher. You got Devin Neal and Trevor Etienne as 2 running backs. So let's focus on them because I want to talk a little bit more about running backs. What do you like about them? And I like the idea of 2 from this class.
Yeah, I'm team take 2 in this draft. If you look at Devin Neal, though, it's a phenomenal vision. He actually weaponized pace, not just acceleration, but deceleration. And he understands cutbacks, and he doesn't have crazy top end speed. He's going to rip plenty of 20-yard runs in the league. He's 220 pounds. He's more of your hammer, a great wide zone type of back. But then you look at Etienne, smaller, closer to 200 pounds, and he's going to be a phenomenal pass catching back in this league. But for whatever reason, he keeps falling down boards. He's only 20 years old. He's moved schools a couple of times, and this is such a deep class that he's falling this far. In normal years, that's probably a 5th-round pick. So I'm trying to pair backs in all these mocks, and I'm trying to get different styles. I want a hammer, and I want a speed element, and that's the 2 I chose for this particular thought exercise.